introduce it again.
Children of Youth, the hottest podcast in the city. We're here with Killer K and Miss Sophia Marie.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here.
Very happy to have you. Sophia, where are you from? Just so we know.
I was born in New York and I grew up here in South Florida.
Okay. How long have you been in South Florida?
Ever since I was one, I moved here when I was raised. So I grew up here.
You're a Floridian.
Yes, definitely.
So Sophia, you are a singer here in South Florida. I know Frank actually put us onto you. I think you were at one of her concerts or one of her shows. How'd you?
Yeah. So it's an open mic platform that my vocal teacher actually gave to me. And so I started going there, doing open mics. So I feel like people have found me through that.
Where's that located?
It's Common Ground. So they have like different locations. It's a coffee shop and they have some in like Lake Worth, Boynton. So where else? I think those are like the two locations.
Okay.
She just sang this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's nice that you're already, getting your face out there. As we're moving like more online and more digital, people forget about face-to-face connection, and that's so important for an artist, for people to put a face to your name and just like connect and network in person. Like the way to make fans that way compared to trying online and by posting is like it's different. So
True.
it's very good.
Yeah. And the groundwork is always, you can't beat it, right? When people see you in person, they hear your voice and how talented you are, especially as a singer, right? It's almost more, it's like an added layer once people get to experience your voice in a real life setting. And they're like, wow, she's actually, like compared to the recording studio, you're actually this amazing singer.
Yeah, that's a big factor.
That's pretty cool. And I know when Frank told me about you, he was more so describing your aura, right? Like more so than the music. Like she has this amazing energy, and like you should check her out. So that's a dope thing,
Man,
to have as an
y'all,
artist.
I swear the internet keeps ruining words for me. Like that's the new word.
That's the word.
That like people are just using.
It's like they discovered it.
Like Riz.
Last week.
It's like Riz.
Yeah.
Like that's another word that's just like. Well, no, I like aura, but I just feel like it's being overused.
No.
But like Riz, like we
put
can,
it in the bucket list of words that are overused
like,
in 2024.
it's with Riz.
We're gonna leave this and that in 2024. Aura and Riz.
Yeah, like there's so many other terms to describe people.
Definitely.
Than 1,000 aura.
Let me ask you,
Riz.
like, we've done a lot of like different genre of music, especially, or I'll say our predominant genre is like rap, right? And so what we find is like with artists, there's always this like community of artists that are just working. How is that community like of singers, like
Singers, songwriters?
Yeah, and I guess I would call it the underground of like.
Yeah, well, I guess, do you feel as if there's kind of like a prominent scene for other pop artists for you guys to kind of collaborate and work together?
Honestly, no, not really, and not down here at all. I would say more Miami and LA, definitely. I wish there was more of like, actually people that are pursuing music, not just hobby artists, because I feel like there are a lot of hobby artists like in Florida or like South Florida, and that's not what I do. You know what I mean? Like this is my
So your career,
this is
your
my
passion.
career. This is my passion. So I would say Miami and LA are definitely the hot spots for that.
So how, in terms of like networking, because I see you've collaborated with, I don't want to butcher the name.
I've collaborated. Recently I did a collaboration with the co-writer of Romeo Santos. I don't know if you know him, but he's a famous Latin artist, and the person I collaborated with was Joaquin Diaz. And my dad actually knows him from the church, so we connected and we co-wrote on some songs together.
Yes, no, I see those songs. You guys have a couple songs out with each other. Very
and
good.
it was a really fun collaboration, a really good one.
So you found kind of through your dad networking wise
that collaboration, yes.
Okay. Are you trying to kind of collaborate with more pop artists, or trying to establish more of like your your own sound individually?
Well, you know, I'm still a young underground artist, so I definitely want to release music on my own, but I'm always like down to, you know, see who's to collaborate with, but it's just hard to find somebody on the same level. It has to be on the same level or else, you know, it's not going to turn out a specific
Now,
way.
in terms of like your creative process, writing your song, do you often write your material first? Do you find a production or like a sound that you like and get inspired by that? Or
That's a good question. I feel like it's a mix of a lot of things. Usually for most of our songs, I write with my dad and we write with a team. But for example, with my dad, we'll start off with a melody. I'll give him like a vibe. I'll say I want like a dark vibe or a happy vibe, and he'll go to the piano, lay down some chords.
Ah,
Yeah.
you're the producer.
And then I come up with melody and some lyrics, or
Shout out Dadager, he's the
yes,
bad guy.
definitely. One of my favorite songs that I've put out is called Pipe Down. It started with
I
me.
saw that. It's a very good song.
Thank you. It started with me just creating the beat on Logic Pro and like all the production chords and everything. Then we took it to another level with a producer. Yeah. So
I love that.
I do like a mix of a lot of different ways.
Do you tend to like draw on like real life or what's going on or like your mood when you make music?
That's a good question too. Honestly, I like to take inspiration from like what I see going on in the world, because sometimes I don't relate to a lot of my songs, but I know that people can relate to it. But with this new chapter of music that I'm gonna start putting out, since I'm turning 20 in September, it's gonna be like a reinvention of a new style, and it's gonna be more about my journey with music, even though I'm not a big artist yet, but so far what I've learned.
You know, your journey is what's the word? Like specific to you is your journey, so you own that, and it doesn't matter whether you're a big artist or not, like you're still an artist, and in terms of a journey, you know, you still have as much of a journey to go as all these other artists.
Yes.
So don't discredit yourself.
Definitely don't discredit. And artists are discovered, you know. Like you already big before you're discovered. You already who you are, and then someone or, you know, the people discover that and they say, oh wow, like, you know, this is Billie Eilish or whoever.
That is true.
You know.
And her new song, she just mentioned, Reinvention, incredible. She wrote it all herself. And then I just put down some keyboard pads, but those lyrics, and it's coming out in September.
Yeah.
When she turns 20, it's called Reinvention.
So it's coming out on your birthday.
Kind of encapsulates the
I wanna
last
do that.
20 years. It's so...
I think people will understand it and relate to it, like artists especially. Yeah.
So what kind of made you start wanting to do music or make this your career? You know, you're so young.
Yeah. So ever since I was young, growing up, my dad, he's always been with music. He had a band and he's always been a writer, producer. So I just grew up with that around me. Sorry. And I loved it. I always used to see singers come into my house and they would perform, and I was like, I want to do that. But when I was 11, then I wanted to take it to another level with songwriting and actually being an artist.
Okay. And in terms of like the types of music genres that you grew up with, what genres were you predominantly listening to?
Everything from 80s music, 90s, like 2000 throwbacks, like, you know, all the pop hit artists back then. And then I started to love like Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, you know, Katy Perry, all the big artists. But now that I'm more older, of course, my style's different.
Yeah. What would you say are your biggest like musical influences?
Right now, Ray is one of my favorite artists. She's inspired by jazz, but she has like a very pop, R&B, cool alternative sound. So I'm drawing a lot of my inspiration right now. Like the music that I'm making is not out yet, but it will be out soon. And I drew a lot of inspiration from her.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Just drawing on your upcoming single, Reinvention, you know, I'm just wondering, as an artist, especially a young artist like yourself, there is a process in discovering your own voice, right? Because you kind of grow up maybe doing covers to songs and maybe have a certain artist you want to sound like. And then there's that discovery of like, this is who, Sophia Marie is. This is how I sound like. How was that like process for you, and how long ago did that start?
I like that question. I would say around age like 18 is when I really started, finding my voice and what style that I want to do. Because we're constantly changing as artists, We're always going to want to do something new, something different. But right now, at my age 19, I feel like is where I really like found my voice and found the style that I could really be good in and really like kick
really
ass
develop and make your own.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it wasn't a difficult process for you. It was more like you just stumbled upon it and was like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, because I would say at age 16, I was releasing a lot of like Latin pop music and just like trying to see different styles, but I have to go like with what my heart really loves, and that's mainly like pop, R&B, that style. Right. Yeah, that's what I grew up with.
Oh, that's awesome. And you said what, you grew up here, you were born here in South Florida?
No, I was born in New York.
New York,
yeah.
Okay. All right. And came here at what age?
At 1.
At 1?
Yes.
She's always gonna call me out for something. Okay, so you're more Floridian than New York. Do you feel like I don't know? I mean, we kind of started off talking about where we have like a predominant singer pop culture, and I don't think Palm Beach is one of those places yet. Do you see yourself being more in Miami or being more somewhere else, maybe like LA or New York?
I see myself being in Miami and LA, definitely. I was just in LA with my dad. We were visiting my uncle, but we actually met up with one of my producers, engineers, and we were just discussing like on ways that artists are, becoming artists and getting out there. So I think LA is definitely a great place to travel for music and stuff. I'll definitely be going up there more.
Do you think that you can see yourself like spearheading a pop culture within Palm Beach around this area? Since there isn't really too big of a scene now, you can kind of, you would be kind of dominating that.
I don't know, because I just don't know if people are really gonna like my style here. I feel like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, people support you where you're not from, and that's just the truth. Like, a lot of people from my hometown probably make fun of what I do, think it's like corny, but they wouldn't do it in 1 second. They couldn't do it in 1 second. So that's why I feel like whenever I'm somewhere else, like performing in Miami or going to LA, like I feel like I'm really myself, like an artist.
How are the people receptive to your music when you perform at the open mic nights?
They love it. Like, they're really with it, and they're super encouraging. That's what I love about it, So I definitely want to be doing more performances.
Could you tell them about your performance next week?
Yes, I have an upcoming performance. I think you guys saw. Breaking Sound, they invited me to perform in Miami at a venue, and I found Breaking Sound through an artist that was on The Voice. They actually sang with them, and Breaking Sound is all over the U.S., like LA, Miami, Chicago, New York. It's like the hot spots. So I'm excited to be performing in Miami.
No, we're excited for you. We're excited for you. What day is that, so people know?
It's August 22nd.
August 22nd. You're in Miami.
I was going to say, you gotta update the ticket link in your bio.
What about it?
It wasn't loading for me.
Was it not?
I tried to look at it.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Just make sure so people can get those tickets.
Yes, I need to follow you.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No, it's okay. But I was gonna say, and also the thing with open mic nights that a lot of artists hate, but like we all have to start somewhere. And when it comes to performing, I think that's the best place to really hone in on your skills for performing.
Yeah.
Because making music and then translating that into a crowd is very different.
Definitely.
Especially if you've never done shows or never performed your sound live to see like how it is. It's a difference, and you can tell artists who are like amateur when it comes to being in front of people or performing or being on a stage. So it's good that you're, actually taking the steps to put
I definitely want to get out there more. And I definitely am going to be auditioning for The Voice and like American Idol. I actually got a callback last season for The Voice. I didn't get on though, but
well, see, the callback is most people don't even get callbacks. So
hopefully this year.
That's amazing. So definitely take that as that you're doing. You're in the right direction because even getting a callback is amazing. So
thank you.
And just take heed of all the criticism and all of the feedback that they give you and apply it. And that's what I said. And in no time, I'm sure. I'll be watching on.
Yes, I hope.
Yeah, no, we definitely will. Yeah, I think you have the full package as an artist, and being so young with experience and time, it's just the sky's the limit.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
And I think when we're talking about the culture of like the pop scene here in Palm Beach, we do have an opportunity to. I think it's just not connected, because we've worked with a lot of individually talented artists in the past, I can go down the list. I don't even know where to start. Piff Cherry is one of our favorites for sure. And it's just, we find that these artists, they don't really have a network, like a router to the different artists that they could collaborate with. And so I think, like you said, traveling to LA and connecting with these different artists that you are is definitely a big step in your future. Yeah. Who are some of your favorite collaborators? Would you
that
say?
I've worked with?
Yeah.
Well, Joaquin Diaz is one of the recent ones. I did a collaboration with Rafinha RSQ. He's really big in Brazil. He's a big producer. He's worked with Karol G, Anitta, all the popular Latin artists. So I have some songs with him. One of my songs with him is Channel, that is out on all platforms. I did with him, and that was a really fun collaboration. We went to Miami, and we did all production there with my team and him, and it was really cool. It was good to learn and see what.
And it's cool that you're collaborating with a lot of artists who have pull in not just the U.S. but Latin America, and that's very good for being an international artist, and not that'll open up a lot of opportunities in terms of touring your fans, and not being just stuck in just the U.S. or North America, but attracting fan bases from all over. So is that kind of your goal? You want to be an international artist?
I don't know more about the Latin side. I don't think as much that side for now, because my heart is really with pop music, R&B right now. But I would love for people to know me all over, of course. You know.
Yeah. Well, Latin music has exploded in recent.
It has, yeah.
Right, very influential. I think Latin music and house music, people.
Bad Bunny.
He's huge.
Everywhere.
Just plain and simple. Bad Bunny is all you have to say.
He crossed over.
He did.
Because that's why I said he's big on every chart, not just
Karol
charts.
G too.
Yeah. Would you dabble in different genres? Not necessarily as far as a singer on different type of genre.
Maybe putting your vocals on a rap track or things like that.
Yeah, I think I love pop, R&B, jazz. I think is really cool. I think all styles are great. You know what I mean? But my main focus, of course, is always gonna be pop or alternative. I don't know.
So what are things that you like to do when you're not making music?
Not much. I'm always songwriting, making content on social media. I love beauty, fashion, all of that stuff. Producing, just planning. I'm always planning content.
Yeah, no, I see that you're very big on your social media. Your social medias are very active, and what's your content schedule looking like?
Yeah.
Do you have to plan out all your?
Definitely, it's an everyday thing. I wake up and I'll say, oh, I want to post a cover, like a production video. I try to like do different things, so I'm not just doing covers. That will get boring.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, that's pretty amazing. I think it's like music is your priority, right?
Is.
Like it's your, like you said, it's your career, it's your priority. And I think it's just, that's not something you see often.
No,
it's usually secondary to what.
Yes, and that's the problem. Like I've tried to reach out to so many girls like my age that are artists or people, but it's just their hobby, you know. They're more focused on school or something else, which I understand, you know. If singing is not what you want to do, I understand it, but
but you don't have a plan B. Or like, I would say you don't focus on the plan.
No, I don't, because my plan A is what I really love and I want to succeed in, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's what I've loved since I was young. And a lot of people will disagree with it. You know, I'll get a lot of opinions on not going to school or trying to do something else. But I mean, I see that you're able to make it in this industry. So many artists have started like me. You start with nothing. You start with 0 followers. You start with no fan base, but you're able to make it. Like, I've seen it happen.
Well, could you talk more about like kind of navigating hate, or how do you stop from being like discouraged from making music or continuing on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard industry. You get a lot of opinions, especially from friends, people you don't know. But I feel like what I love to do, which is singing, songwriting, producing, it overcomes like any hate at all. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
It's what you love to do.
yeah, I'm happy to always put my music out, and people are gonna connect with it, and actually see me for who I am, which is an artist.
What would you say is kind of like your greatest accomplishment so far within your journey in your career?
That's a good question. I would say getting to this level of being able to songwrite like with a team or by myself, because it is hard, you know what I mean? Not a lot of people could do that, but I could write a song like in one day, in a couple of hours, and get it to a good level. Not a lot of people could do that. Yeah. So I feel like I've worked really hard in my years to get to this certain level, and especially with my voice, I've developed it a lot over the years. And it's not in all of my songs recently, but definitely in the new music I'll be putting out, you're gonna hear more of like, it's a clear difference.
So how, what's like your process with like your vocal training? How have you kind of developed your vocals?
I sing every day, and singing is definitely an important thing. And I have a really good vocal coach, Priscilla, shout out to her. She's really helped me with the technical side of singing, because people will see a singer and just think that they're great, but they don't see the work that's put into it. Like Ariana Grande, Christina Aguilera, it's a lot of work, you know what I mean? And it's a proper technique you need to have so you don't break your voice. Yeah, it's hard.
I think we chuck it up to like talented, right? Like you hear a singer like, she's so talented, like she has this amazing voice, or and we kind of disregard. I mean, I'm guilty of that. I actually haven't really thought like singers actually practice on their voice and really do vocal training.
And especially if I want to be on The Voice or American Idol, I gotta be next level, because I'm competing with so many different singers.
Does that make you nervous at all, or?
No, because I know what's meant for me is meant for me. You know what I mean? If a door is meant to be opened, then it will.
You have a very good attitude, and like your comfortability, your confidence, and that's something that's going to take you far too. Just like not letting anyone blindside you of what it is that you want or what you're looking to accomplish. So that's great.
My dad's side of the family, I would say that they're pretty musical, but mainly my dad, of course. He's always been a songwriter in New York, and he was very close to getting some record deals. So I feel like I kind of took over, and now he's able to guide me on what he's learned in the past and all of that.
Have some industry insight.
She's learning from all the mistakes.
Right?
But see, mistakes are the greatest teacher. They really are. Especially having someone to navigate you through the industry, and especially someone that you can trust and already have, important. is very important and can take you far as well.
Oh, look, he's gonna cry.
Would you ever do a song with your dad?
Yeah, I say why not? We already write together, so yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you guys already crossed that off.
Yeah.
I wrote a song about what my most precious work of art when she was in my wife's stomach. When she was born, I knew I was having a girl, and it just laid out that I want to, make build a life plan together. And it was so, and
sweet.
it was amazing. God gave me everything I asked for and more. So I'm just so blessed. Yeah.
That's so
I'm
sweet.
That's incredible. You guys have a very rare relationship,
Aw,
a very great
thank
relationship
you.
for sure.
Thank you, guys.
It's not every day. I mean, we've done hundreds of artists at this point that we've interviewed. It's not every day you see that type of involvement and relationship.
Involvement, support.
Yeah,
too,
it's so
'cause,
important.
Some parents don't support people when they want to do a
No.
non-traditional.
It's just
type
hard
of
to
work.
understand too. I
It
think
is.
just
It's
being an
hard to
artist is just hard to
understand.
understand.
Not a lot
Especially
of
from-
people
No one
understand.
understands it unless
Unless
you
you,
live it.
yeah. But I'm thankful both my mom and dad support me in this.
Yeah.
I'm very glad.
So, you have your show coming up.
Yes.
You have an
Yep.
22nd. You have an unreleased track coming
Yes.
up on your birthday.
It's in the works right
in the
now.
works. Any other
Yeah.
good things going on in Sophia as
Keep
well?
hope alive.
Yep, that's
Keep
another
hope
song coming out, but that's in 2025.
Yeah.
What's that song?
It's a song that we wrote. It's called Keep Hope Alive. It's gonna be like a more like raw acoustic song. It's really cool.
Inspirational
Yeah.
lyrics of it.
So you already have your releases mapped out until next year.
Some in next
Okay.
year. And I definitely, like I said, I want to audition for more like American Idol, The Voice. all of
Now,
that.
in terms of releasing, since I'm sure you probably have lots of material that you're sitting on, how do you kind of pick through and determine like which song is the hit that's gonna?
That's I would say it's what I'm feeling the most at the moment. So these new songs are gonna be, about like my journey with the music and stuff. So I think people are gonna connect with that because I feel like my past songs, they're kind of a lot of the same topic. People don't really connect as much, but this is like a new era and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in conclusion, I guess, tell us something we don't know about you, right? Just for your fans, right? I mean, you put out a lot of content. I think your fans know you as much as they know what you want them to know, right? But what do people not know about?
I think people don't know I would say maybe how passionate I am about what I do, or how much even work it is, I would say. Because you can see all like the music videos, like the fun it is, the makeup, but you don't see the work that's put behind it. Yeah, it's like an everyday thing.
You make it look so easy. They don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Would you say that music is like a full-time job, like
Yeah, it has to be.
24 hours? It's
Yeah.
not 9 to 5.
What? Yeah, no. No.
Yeah.
Definitely when you want to make it in this industry, this is a hard industry, just like any other industry, but there's just so much competition online, like in person, and you have to kind of like do something that makes you unique. So I think my thing now is going to be just like, it's going to be mainly with I wouldn't say struggle with the music industry, but my journey and like showing people what I've learned and like how much I've grown.
Okay.
Yeah, being more, I guess, more transparent.
Yeah.
So you say about that journey.
Definitely.
I think that always sells. Authenticity
Yeah.
sells.
Definitely. It
always,
does.
It will always outlive anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in art, right? The more raw you are, the more raw that music is, the more it relates to someone, and the bigger of a fan they become because they kind of like, live through you. They like vicariously through you. So yeah, definitely authenticity sells. And as we close out, I want to conclude and say that you your type of artistry is, you know, what we love to have on our podcast, who we love to work with, and you know, I think we can count maybe on our hands and feet how many artists that we work that has the same level of grind or as you do, and it really sets the bar for what we expect to have on here. So.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, no, and it definitely sets you apart, you know, just from your socials, you can see that you're serious and the content that you put out and how you go about promoting, and, you know, I can see that you're very serious about your craft, and that is something that, you know, other people will see as well, labels, management, other artists,
100%.
you know. So as long as you're, you know, putting forth like the best image and just kind of showcasing you and your talent, and you know, you're going to attract and you know, people
And that you love to do it too. The fact that you love to do it, that's like the biggest thing to me.
Because if I hated it,
like,
that'd be terrible.
Yeah, but you know, you can like it. You know, you can like it. Oh, I like to make music. You know, or I'll do this after everything else. But your absolute passion for it is
I love it. I love doing
is
covers,
the indicator.
writing music, you know, producing, and I'm excited for people to see the growth, because I don't think they've seen it yet or really understand. But this is definitely going to be a new era.
Yeah. Well, we're new fans, and we'll be sticking around to see how everything goes, especially with, you know, American Idol and everything else that you're chasing. So, big ups to you.
Let the people know all your socials and where they can find
you guys
and
can
your
follow
music.
me on Instagram at the Sophia Marie. My Spotify and all platforms are Sophia Marie.
Okay. You guys will be seeing a lot more, hopefully, of Sophia Marie with Changing the Youth. We're very happy to have you, and thank you again. Thank you and your dad for showing up.
Yes.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to it. We might be going to your show on the 22nd. Right?
Yeah.
Come along. You guys should come.
Where's your show going to be located?
It's going to be at the Broken Shaker, I think it's called.
Okay. Yeah.
In Miami Beach.
Miami Beach.
And I'm going to be doing some originals.
Okay.
So I'm super excited.
What's the date again?
August 22nd. I'll text it to you on
August
Instagram.
22nd.
Next Thursday.
Okay.
Next Thursday.
August 22nd, Sophia
excited.
Marie.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Kelsey Means, Sophia Marie. I'm Jerry Novato, Frank Kadelic behind the camera. Changing the Youth, the hottest podcast in the city. We're out.
Bye.